My sister-in-law tried to sleep with every man at my parties until I invited her baby daddy she's been hiding from. My name is Amber, and I need to tell you about the most insane situation I ever found myself in. This whole thing started about 3 years ago when my brother Marcus married this woman named Vanessa. I should have known something was off from the beginning. The first time I met Vanessa was at their engagement party. She walked in wearing this dress that was basically held together by hope and a prayer. Not that I judge what people wear, but this was a family barbecue at my parents' house. My mom was there, my grandmother was there, and Vanessa showed up looking like she was heading to a nightclub in Miami. But Marcus was happy, so I kept my mouth shut. I hosted a lot of parties back then. I had just bought this beautiful house in the suburbs with my husband, Ryan. 3 bedrooms, a finished basement, and this gorgeous backyard with a deck that was perfect for entertaining. Ryan and I loved having people over, game nights, birthday parties, 4th of July cookouts, holiday gatherings. Our house was the house where everyone wanted to hang out, and that meant Vanessa started coming to everything. The first incident happened at my birthday party that October. I had invited maybe 30 people, friends from work, some of Ryan's buddies, family, neighbors, a good mix. Everyone was having a great time. Music playing, drinks flowing, people laughing. I was in the kitchen refilling the chip bowls when my friend Jessica came in looking uncomfortable. "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" she asked. "Sure. What's up?" She hesitated. "This is awkward, but I think you should know. That woman, your brother's fiancée, she just cornered my husband David in the hallway and asked him if he wanted to see the upstairs." I froze. "What?" "Yeah, David laughed it off and came to find me, but she was definitely hitting on him, like aggressively. I didn't want to believe it. Maybe she was just being friendly. Maybe she thought he wanted a house tour." Jessica gave me this look. "Amber." She put her hand on his chest and asked if he worked out, then suggested they go somewhere more private. My stomach dropped. I went to find Vanessa. She was outside on the deck laughing loudly and touching the arm of another one of my friends, Mike. His wife was standing right there looking furious. I pulled Vanessa aside. "Hey, can we talk?" "Sure, what's up?" she said, all innocent. "I just want to make sure you're comfortable. I know you don't know everyone here." "Oh, I'm great. Everyone's so nice, especially your friends." She smiled this weird smile that made my skin crawl. I didn't confront her directly. Not then, I didn't have proof really, just Jessica's word and my own bad feeling, but I started watching her. At Thanksgiving that year, we all gathered at my parents' house, big family dinner. My dad's brother and his family came, some cousins. It was crowded and chaotic in the best way. Vanessa wore another inappropriate outfit. This time, a low-cut top that my grandmother kept staring at with disapproval, and I watched her work the room. She would laugh too loud at jokes that weren't funny, touch people's arms when she talked to them, lean in way too close. She cornered my cousin Brian in the garage and talked to him for 20 minutes until his girlfriend went looking for him. When Brian's girlfriend found them, Vanessa was showing him something on her phone, standing so close their shoulders were touching. Brian looked relieved when his girlfriend appeared. Later, I caught Vanessa in the hallway with my uncle's friend Robert. She had her hand on the wall next to his head, basically boxing him in. He was married with 3 kids and looked like he wanted to disappear into the wallpaper. Marcus didn't notice, or he didn't want to notice. They got married in January. Small ceremony. I was a bridesmaid even though I barely knew Vanessa. The whole thing felt rushed, but Marcus insisted he was in love. At the wedding reception, Vanessa danced with practically every man there except Marcus. She spent more time grinding against the best man than she did with her actual husband. My mom pulled me aside at one point. "Is it just me, or is Vanessa being inappropriate?" "It's not just you, Mom. Have you said anything to Marcus?" "I've tried. He doesn't want to hear it." My mom sighed. "Well, he's an adult. He'll figure it out eventually," but I wasn't so sure. After the wedding, it got worse. Ryan and I hosted a Super Bowl party in February. Maybe 40 people crammed into our house. Vanessa showed up in tight jeans and a jersey that was 2 sizes too small. By halftime, 3 different guys had pulled me aside. My coworker Brandon told me she had literally asked him if he was happy in his relationship and suggested they go grab drinks sometime, just the 2 of them. Ryan's friend Chris said she kept finding excuses to sit next to him on the couch and pressed her leg against his. And my neighbor Tom said she asked him to help her find something in her car. And when they got outside, she asked if he ever thought about being with someone new. Tom was married with 2 kids, but it got even stranger. During the 4th order, I went downstairs to grab more drinks from the basement fridge. Vanessa was down there with another one of Ryan's friends, a guy named Eric. They were standing really close and Eric looked uncomfortable as hell. "Just checking out the basement," Vanessa said when she saw me. Eric practically ran upstairs. I was done playing nice. I found Vanessa in my kitchen mixing herself another drink. "We need to talk," I said. "About what?" "About you hitting on every man at my parties." She laughed, actually laughed. "I'm just being friendly, Amber. Not my fault your friends are interested." "They're not interested. They're uncomfortable. You're making people uncomfortable in my home. Maybe you're just jealous." I blinked. "Excuse me, come on, you throw these parties and play hostess, but no one really pays attention to you. I show up and suddenly I'm the center of attention. That must be hard for you." I wanted to throw her out right then. But she was Marcus's wife, my sister-in-law, family. "You need to stop," I said quietly, "or you're not welcome here anymore." She rolled her eyes and walked away. I told Marcus everything the next day, called him up and laid it all out. Incidents at my birthday party, Thanksgiving, the Super Bowl party, everything people had told me. He didn't believe me. Vanessa's just friendly. He said, she's outgoing, you're misreading things. Marcus, 3 different married men told me she was hitting on them. They're probably lying because they were interested and got rejected. Vanessa's beautiful. Guys can't handle that sometimes. You seriously think Ryan's friend Chris is lying? You've known him for 10 years. I think people see what they want to see, and maybe you never really gave Vanessa a chance. That hurt because it wasn't true. I had tried to welcome her. I had tried to include her, but I also realized arguing was pointless. Marcus was in deep, so I made a decision. No more parties where Vanessa was invited. If we hosted something, it would be small, just our closest friends who knew the situation. I stopped inviting Marcus to things, which meant I barely saw my brother anymore. Parents noticed. My mom asked why Marcus never came around. Ask his wife, I said, but I didn't tell them the whole story. It felt too messy, too embarrassing. My dad tried to play mediator. He invited both Marcus and me to lunch one Saturday in March. What's going on with you two? He asked when we were all sitting at the restaurant. Nothing, I said. Nothing, Marcus echoed. You used to be close, now you barely talk. Did something happen? I looked at Marcus. He looked at me. Just have different opinions about some things. Marcus finally said, about what? About Vanessa, I said bluntly. I think she's not who Marcus thinks she is. Marcus put down his fork. Here we go again, I'm just being honest, Dad. Vanessa has issues, and Marcus won't see them. What kind of issues? My dad asked. I debated telling him everything, but Marcus looked so defensive, so hurt that I backed down. Never mind. It doesn't matter. We finished lunch in awkward silence. Months went by. Ryan and I kept to ourselves mostly. We'd have dinner parties with a few couples we trusted, quiet gatherings, nothing big, but I heard things through the grapevine. Jessica told me that Vanessa had shown up at a mutual friend's birthday party without Marcus. She got very intoxicated and tried to make out with the birthday guy. His fiancée kicked her out. My cousin's wife mentioned that Vanessa had sent inappropriate messages to my cousin Brian on Instagram, asked him if he ever thought about her. If he wanted to get together without his girlfriend knowing, Brian showed his girlfriend the messages. They both blocked Vanessa, and apparently Vanessa had been fired from her job at a dental office because she was caught flirting with patients, married patients. Marcus didn't know any of this, or if he did, he was in denial. I felt bad for him. My brother was a good guy. He deserved better. Then one day in June, I ran into someone I hadn't seen in years. I was at Target shopping for some new patio furniture when I heard someone say my name. Amber Davis. I turned around. Standing there was this guy named Tyler Chen. We had gone to high school together. Hadn't seen him since graduation. Oh my God, Tyler. Hi. Wow, it's been forever. How are you? We chatted for a bit, caught up. He told me he was back in town after living in California for a few years, working as a software developer. Just moved back to be closer to family. Should grab coffee sometime, he said. Catch up properly? Yeah, definitely. Actually, my husband and I are having a small barbecue this Saturday, just a few people. You should come. I don't know why I invited him. Maybe because he seemed normal, nice, safe. He showed up on Saturday with a 6-pack of craft beer and a big smile. Ryan liked him immediately. They got talking about sports and video games. Tyler fit right in with our small group of friends. At one point, Tyler and I were standing by the grill and he mentioned something that caught my attention. So I actually know your sister-in-law, he said casually. I almost dropped my drink. What, Vanessa? Yeah, we dated back in college for a while. Didn't end great. But that was years ago. My mind was racing. You dated Vanessa? Well, dated is maybe generous. We hooked up for a few months. She was intense, really clingy. Then she just disappeared one day, blocked me on everything. I heard through mutual friends that she had moved across the country. When was this? He thought about it. Maybe 4 years ago. I was finishing up my degree. 4 years ago, right before she met Marcus, did she ever mention anything about, I don't know, her past family? Tyler looked uncomfortable. Why are you asking? I'm just trying to understand her better. She's been difficult. He sighed. Look, I don't want to start drama, but when we were together, she told me some things. She said she had a kid, a baby, but she gave it up because she couldn't handle being a mom. I felt like I'd been punched. She has a child. I don't know if it's true. Vanessa lied about a lot of things. She might have made it up for sympathy or attention, but she told me she had a baby when she was 20 and gave the father full custody. Said she just wasn't ready for that life. Marcus had never mentioned this, which meant Vanessa had never told him. Did you ever meet the father? I asked. No, she never talked about him. Just that he existed somewhere with their kid. Tyler left a few hours later and I couldn't stop thinking about it. If Vanessa really had a child, why would she hide it from Marcus? They had been together for 3 years, married for 6 months. That seemed like something you'd mention unless she was running from something. I did what anyone would do. I started digging. I found Vanessa's Facebook profile. It was locked down pretty tight, but I could see her friends list. I went through every single person looking for clues and I found him. A guy named Cameron Rodriguez. His profile picture showed him with a little girl who looked about 4 years old. The resemblance to Vanessa was striking. Same eyes, same nose, same smile. I clicked through his public photos. There were dozens of pictures of him with this little girl. At the park, birthday parties, the zoo, he was clearly a devoted father. In some of the older photos from about 5 years ago, there was Vanessa, pregnant Vanessa, Vanessa holding a newborn baby, Vanessa looking young and overwhelmed. Then the photo stopped. The more recent ones were just Cameron and the little girl, no Vanessa. I checked his relationship status. Single. His location said he lived about 40 minutes away from us, right here in the same state. I sat there staring at my laptop screen, my heart pounding. Vanessa had a daughter. Daughter she had abandoned. And now she was playing this game at my parties, hitting on married men, pretending to be someone she wasn't. I spent the next few days obsessing over it. I looked up Cameron's Instagram, more photos of the little girl. Her name was Riley. She looked happy, loved, well cared for. There were photos of Riley at what looked like preschool graduations. At the beach, eating ice cream, playing with toys. Cameron seemed like a good dad. Every caption was something sweet. My little sunshine. Best day at the park with my girl. Riley insisted on wearing her tutu to the grocery store. Who am I to say no? It made me angry all over again. This little girl had a mother who abandoned her. And that mother was now married to my brother, lying about her entire past. I should have told Marcus right away. That would have been the right thing to do. But I was angry. So angry. Angry at Vanessa for lying, for making my brother look like a fool, for disrespecting my home and my friends. So I came up with a different plan. Ryan thought I was crazy when I told him. You want to invite this random guy to our 4th of July party? He asked. He's not random. He's Vanessa's baby daddy, the one she abandoned. Amber, this is playing with fire. She's been playing with fire at every single one of our parties. Hitting on married men, making people uncomfortable, lying to my brother. I'm just evening the score by ambushing her, by giving her a taste of her own medicine. Ryan looked at me for a long moment. You really want to do this? Yes, he sighed. Okay, but I'm staying close in case things get ugly. I sent Cameron a message on Facebook, kept it simple. Hi Cameron, you don't know me, but I'm Marcus Hayes' sister. Marcus is married to Vanessa. I'm having a 4th of July party and I'd love for you to come. I think it's time some people met you. If you're interested, here's my address and the time. He responded within an hour. Does Vanessa know you're inviting me? No, and she doesn't know Marcus knows about Riley either because she never told him. There was a long pause. I could see he was typing, then stopping, then typing again. Finally, she never told him about Riley, never mentioned her, not once. In 3 years, another pause, I'll be there. The 4th of July party was our biggest gathering since the Super Bowl. I invited everyone, all our friends, family, neighbors, and of course Marcus and Vanessa. I even invited people I hadn't seen in a while. Old college friends, coworkers from my first job. I wanted a crowd. I wanted witnesses. Marcus was happy I had included them. He thought maybe I was finally coming around to Vanessa. I'm glad we're going to be there, he said on the phone. I missed hanging out at your place. Yeah, me too, I lied. The guilt was eating at me a little. Not enough to call off my plan, but enough to make me second-guess myself a few times. Ryan noticed. You okay? He asked the night before the party. I keep thinking maybe I should just tell Marcus privately, not do this whole confrontation thing. You could, but would he believe you without seeing it for himself? That was the thing. Marcus had defended Vanessa every time I brought up concerns. He needed to see the truth. He needed proof. Besides, Ryan added, Cameron deserves to confront her too. She abandoned their daughter. She should have to face that. He was right. He started at 2:00 in the afternoon. People began showing up right on time. The weather was perfect, sunny and warm, but not too hot. Ryan had the grill going. I had set up tables full of food in the backyard. My mom brought her famous potato salad. My dad was in charge of the cooler, making sure everyone had cold drinks. My cousin brought sparklers for later when it got dark. It felt like old times. Before Vanessa, before all the drama, Marcus and Vanessa showed up around 2:30. Vanessa wore a red bikini top and denim shorts in front of my entire family. My mom looked scandalized. Ida just shook his head and muttered something under his breath. My grandmother, who was 85 and had no filter, said loudly, Is that girl wearing underwear or a bathing suit? A few people laughed nervously, but Marcus didn't seem to notice anything wrong. He grabbed a beer and started chatting with people. Vanessa immediately started her routine, touching arms, laughing too loud, positioning herself near groups of men. Watched her corner Ryan's coworker Mike by the cooler. Saw her lean in close and whisper something that made him back away quickly. Then she moved on to my cousin Daniel, then to Tom from next door. She was like a shark circling prey. At one point, she actually sat down in my friend Brandon's lap, just plopped herself down while he was sitting in a lawn chair. His wife looked furious. Brandon stood up so fast that Vanessa almost fell on the ground. Sorry, Vanessa said with a giggle. I thought you wouldn't mind. I mind, Brandon's wife said flatly. Vanessa just shrugged and moved on. I checked my phone. 3:30, Cameron should be arriving soon. My heart was pounding. I felt like I might throw up. Ryan squeezed my shoulder. You sure about this? Too late to back out now. At around 4:00, the doorbell rang. Ryan looked at me. I nodded. He went to answer it. Cameron Rodriguez walked into my backyard carrying a bottle of wine and looking nervous. He was tall, maybe 62, with dark hair and kind eyes. He wore jeans and a nice button-down shirt. He looked like a normal guy, a good guy, not the kind of guy you'd abandon with a baby. Thanks for having me, he said quietly to me. Thank you for coming, I replied. Vanessa hadn't noticed him yet. She was too busy talking to Jessica's husband again, standing way too close. I walked Cameron over to the drink table, got him a beer, introduced him to Ryan. Cameron, this is my husband, Ryan. Ryan, this is Cameron Rodriguez. He's an old friend of Vanessa's. Ryan shook his hand. Nice to meet you. You too, so how do you know Vanessa? Ryan asked, playing along perfectly. Have a daughter together, Cameron said simply. Several people nearby went quiet. They were listening now. That's when Marcus walked over. Hey, Amber, do we have any more? He stopped, looked at Cameron. Sorry, I don't think we've met. Cameron extended his hand. Cameron Rodriguez. Marcus shook it confused. Marcus Hayes, are you a friend of Amber's? Actually, I'm here because I know your wife. The color drained from Marcus' face. You know Vanessa? Yeah, we dated about 5 years ago. Have a daughter together. Her name's Riley. She just turned 4. I watched my brother process this information. Watched his expression go from confusion to shock to anger. What are you talking about? Marcus said quietly. More people were gathering now, sensing drama. The backyard was getting quiet. That's when Vanessa noticed. She had been standing about 20 feet away, but she must have heard Cameron's voice or seen him or something because she went completely pale. She froze, just stood there staring. And slowly, like someone walking to their execution, she made her way over. Cameron, she said, her voice was barely a whisper. Hey, Vanessa, he said calmly. Long time. Marcus looked between them. Someone want to explain what the hell is going on? Vanessa's mouth opened and closed. No sound came out. Cameron spoke. Instead, Vanessa and I were together for about 2 years. We had a daughter, Riley. Vanessa decided when Riley was 6 months old that she didn't want to be a mother. She signed over full custody to me and left. Haven't heard from her since. Backyard had gone completely silent now. Everyone was watching. Marcus turned to Vanessa. Is this true? She finally found her voice. Marcus, I can explain. Is it true? He said louder. Do you have a daughter? Yes, but it's complicated. You have a kid and you never told me? Marcus' voice was shaking. We've been together for 3 years, married for 6 months, and you have a whole child you never mentioned. I was going to tell you when. When were you going to tell me? Vanessa looked around at all the people staring. Can we please talk about this in private? No, Marcus said firmly. We're talking about it right now. Why is he here, Vanessa? How did he even know where to find you? She turned to look at me and I saw the exact moment she realized what I had done. You invited him, she said to me. You did this on purpose. I did, I said. I thought Marcus deserved to know the truth about who he married. You had no right. I had every right. This is my house, my party, my brother, and you've been lying to all of us. Cameron spoke up again. I didn't come here to cause trouble, but when Amber reached out, I figured Marcus deserved to know about Riley. If Vanessa wasn't going to tell him, someone should. Marcus looked at Cameron. You have pictures of the daughter? Yeah, tons. Cameron pulled out his phone and showed Marcus photos. Photo after photo of a beautiful little girl with Vanessa's eyes. Marcus stared at the phone screen like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. She's real, he whispered. Very real, Cameron said. And a great kid, smart, funny, loves dinosaurs and painting. And Vanessa just left. Cameron nodded. One day she was there and the next day she wasn't. Left a note saying she couldn't do it. Couldn't be a mom. Signed the papers and moved across the country. Changed her phone number. Blocked me on everything. I tried to reach out a few times over the years, thinking maybe she'd want updates or pictures, but she never responded. Marcus looked at one photo for a long time. It showed Riley holding a sign that said first day of preschool. When was this? He asked. Last September. Cameron said last September. Marcus repeated. We were already married. And you? He turned to Vanessa. You have a daughter in preschool and you never mentioned it. Not once. Vanessa was crying now. I was 20 years old when I had her. I wasn't ready. I couldn't handle it. I made a mistake. Having a kid isn't the mistake. Marcus interrupted. Lying about it is hiding her from me is? How could you do that? I was scared you'd judge me, that you wouldn't want me if you knew. So instead, you lied for 3 years, through dating, through getting engaged, through our entire wedding. You stood in front of our families and friends and promised to be honest with me, and you were hiding a whole human being. I didn't know how to tell you. Vanessa sobbed. You could have told me on day 1. On day 100, on any of the 1,000 days we spent together, but you didn't. You chose to lie every single day. People were starting to whisper. My mom had her hand over her mouth. My dad looked furious. My grandmother looked confused, asking someone near her what was happening. And then Jessica spoke up from across the yard. Maybe we should also talk about how she's been hitting on every married man at these parties. Vanessa whipped around. That's not true. It is true, Mike's wife, Amanda said. You've hit on my husband at least 3 times, including today. I saw you whispering in his ear by the cooler. And mine, said Jessica. You asked David to meet you upstairs at Amber's birthday party. And mine, said my neighbor, Tom's wife. You literally asked Tom if he ever thought about cheating on me. One by one, the women started speaking up, sharing stories, sharing incidents, things I didn't even know about. Brandon's wife stood up. You sat in my husband's lap today in front of everyone like that was a normal thing to do. My cousin's girlfriend added, you sent my boyfriend messages on Instagram asking if he wanted to hang out without me. You said you wanted to get to know him better. Another woman I worked with said, you cornered my fiancé at the company Christmas party and told him you thought he was too good for me. The stories kept coming, more and more women speaking up. Some were incidents I knew about, others were completely new to me. Vanessa had apparently tried to kiss someone's husband at a New Year's Eve party, had sent explicit photos to another guy she met at one of our gatherings, had shown up uninvited to someone's house party and ended up making out with a guy in the bathroom before his girlfriend caught them. It went on and on. Marcus just stood there listening to it all. His face was expressionless, but I could see his hands shaking. When everyone finally finished, he looked at Vanessa. We're done, he said simply. Marcus, please, we're done. I want you out of the apartment by the end of the week. You can't just I can and I am. This marriage is over. Vanessa looked around wildly like she was searching for someone to defend her, but everyone just stared back with disgust or pity or both. This is all your fault, she said, turning on me. You're just jealous, you've always been jealous. Of what exactly? I asked calmly. Your ability to lie, to cheat, to abandon your own child. I never wanted that baby. I told Cameron from the beginning I wasn't ready. He's the one who insisted we keep it. Cameron's jaw tightened. You told me you wanted to try, you said you wanted us to be a family, I believed you. Well, I lied, I'm good at that apparently. The bitterness in her voice was shocking. There was no remorse, no shame, just anger that she'd been caught. Marcus looked at her like he was seeing a stranger. I don't even know who you are. Oh please, you knew exactly who I was, you just didn't want to admit it. Your sister told you I was flirting with people. I'm sure other people warned you too. You married me anyway because you thought you could change me. You thought being married would make me different. I thought you loved me, Marcus said quietly. I did love you. I do love you, but I'm not the person you wanted me to be. I'm sorry I can't be some perfect wife who wants to play house and have babies and bake cookies. I never asked you to be perfect. I just asked you to be honest. Vanessa grabbed her purse from one of the chairs. Fine. You want honesty? I've been miserable for months. Being married to you is boring. Your life is boring. These parties are boring. I stayed because it was comfortable. Because you paid for everything and asked for nothing, but I'm done pretending. She started walking toward the gate that led to the front yard. Then she turned back, and that kid, Riley, I don't regret leaving her. Not for a second. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Being a mother was the worst 6 months of my life. So if you're all standing there judging me, save it. I don't care. And with that, she left. We heard her car start a minute later and then the screech of tires as she sped away. Nobody moved for a long moment. Then my grandmother said very loudly, well, she was just awful, wasn't she? A few people laughed nervously. The tension broke a little. The party kind of fell apart after that. Some people left awkwardly, not knowing what to say. Others stuck around and tried to pretend everything was normal, but the energy was gone. Marcus sat on my deck stairs with his head in his hands. I sat down next to him. I'm sorry, don't be, he said. You were right about all of it. I should have listened to you months ago. I didn't want to be right. He laughed bitterly. A daughter. I have a stepdaughter I never knew existed, or I guess I almost had a stepdaughter. God, this is so messed up. Cameron came over and sat down on the other side of Marcus. What it's worth, Cameron said. I'm sorry this happened like this, but I'm glad you know Riley deserves better than a mother who pretends she doesn't exist. Can I ask you something? Marcus said, sure. Why did you come today? You could have just ignored Amber's message, kept living your life without dealing with Vanessa again. Cameron was quiet for a moment because Riley's been asking about her mom. She sees other kids with mothers and she wants to know where hers is. I've been telling her that her mom loved her but couldn't stay. That sometimes grown-ups make hard choices, but that's getting harder to explain as she gets older. She's smart. She knows something's not right. Took a breath. And honestly, I thought maybe if Vanessa saw me, if she was forced to confront what she left behind, she might, I don't know, feel something, want to be part of Riley's life, even just a little bit. I didn't expect her to come back full-time or anything, but I thought maybe she'd changed, that maybe she'd want to at least know her daughter. And now, Marcus asked, now I realized that was probably naive. Vanessa hasn't changed, she just got better at hiding who she really is. They sat in silence for a while, then Marcus said, can you tell me about her, about Riley? Cameron's face lit up. Yeah, man, of course. And for the next hour, while the party slowly dispersed around them, Cameron told Marcus about Riley. Told him how she was obsessed with dinosaurs and could name at least 20 different species, how she insisted on wearing tutus everywhere, even to the grocery store. How she was learning to read and would sound out words on street signs. He told him about her favorite foods, her bedtime routine, her best friend from preschool. He showed Marcus videos of Riley dancing, playing, laughing, and I watched my brother fall in love with a little girl he had never met. Do you think I could meet her? Marcus asked eventually. I know the marriage is over, but she's still technically my stepdaughter, or she was. I'd like to at least see her if that's okay with you. Cameron smiled. Yeah, man, I think Riley would like that. She could use more good people in her life. My mom came over and sat with them, then my dad. Pretty soon, my whole family was gathered around asking Cameron questions about Riley, looking at pictures. My grandmother insisted on seeing videos. Let me see this precious child, she demanded. Cameron showed her a video of Riley singing a song from some kids' show. My grandmother's whole face softened. She's beautiful, she said. Looks just like her mother, but hopefully with a better heart. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Vanessa did move out of Marcus' apartment. She came when he was at work and took her stuff. Didn't leave a note. Didn't say goodbye. Marcus filed for divorce the following week because they'd only been married for 6 months and had no shared property or assets. His lawyer said it should be pretty straightforward, but Vanessa's lawyer tried to make it difficult. She claimed Marcus had been abusive, that he had isolated her from friends and family, that she deserved compensation for emotional distress, all lies, of course. Marcus' lawyer tore her arguments apart. They had emails and texts showing that Marcus had always been supportive. He had testimony from friends and family. They even had the security footage from my 4th of July party showing exactly what had happened. The divorce was finalized in October, but the real story was Marcus and Riley. Cameron brought Riley over to meet Marcus about a week after the party, insisted on being there, wanted to make sure everything went okay. Riley was this tiny, beautiful kid with pigtails and light-up sneakers. She was carrying a stuffed purple dinosaur that was almost as big as she was. Marcus was so nervous. He had gone to 3 different stores looking for the perfect gift. Finally settled on a stuffed triceratops because Cameron had mentioned it was her second favorite dinosaur. Riley walked into Marcus' apartment and looked around with wide eyes. "Your house is big," she said. Marcus knelt down to her level. "Hi, Riley, my name is Marcus. I'm a friend of your dad's." She studied him seriously. "Are you my mom's friend too?" The question hung in the air. Marcus glanced at Cameron, who nodded slightly. "I was," Marcus said carefully, "but not anymore. Your mom and I aren't friends now." "Oh, did you have a fight?" "Something like that. I fight with my friend Emma sometimes." "Then we say sorry and we're friends again." "Sometimes grown-ups fight and they can't be friends again, but that's okay because I'd really like to be your friend if that's okay with you." Riley thought about it seriously. Then she noticed the stuffed dinosaur Marcus was holding. "Is that a triceratops?" she asked. "It is. Do you know a lot about dinosaurs?" "I know everything about dinosaurs. My daddy says I'm an expert." Marcus smiled. "Well, I don't know very much about dinosaurs. Maybe you could teach me." He slid up. "Really? You want me to teach you? I would love that." "Okay, so triceratops means 3-horned face. See, it has 3 horns," she pointed to the stuffed animal. "And it's a herbivore, which means it only eats plants, not meat." "Wow, I didn't know that. And it lived in the late Cretaceous period. That's like a really, really long time ago. Even before my daddy was born," Marcus laughed. "Even before I was born too." "Whoa, you're old." Cameron tried not to laugh. "Riley, that's not polite." "Sorry, you're not old. You're just older than me." "That's better," Marcus said, grinning. For the next hour, Riley taught Marcus about dinosaurs. She showed him all the plastic dinosaurs she had brought in her backpack, explained which ones were carnivores and which were herbivores, drew him a picture of a brachiosaurus. At one point, she climbed into his lap without even thinking about it, just made herself comfortable and kept talking about dinosaurs. Marcus caught Cameron's eye. Cameron smiled and nodded. When it was time to leave, Riley hugged Marcus goodbye. "Can I come back and teach you more about dinosaurs?" she asked. "Anytime you want," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. "Okay, next time I'll tell you about the pterodactyls. They're not actually dinosaurs, but they're really cool." After they left, Marcus sat down on his couch and just cried. I sat next to him and didn't say anything. Just let him process. "She's perfect," he finally said. And Vanessa just walked away from her. How could anyone walk away from that kid? Don't know. I only knew her for an hour and I already love her. How did Vanessa spend 6 months with her and feel nothing? Some people just aren't capable of it, of loving someone more than they love themselves. Marcus wiped his eyes. "I want to be part of her life, Amber. Like really part of her life, not just some guy who shows up occasionally." Then tell Cameron that. Over the next few months, Marcus became a regular fixture in Riley's life. He'd pick her up from preschool sometimes when Cameron had to work late, take her to the park on weekends, come to her dance recital. Cameron was grateful for the help and the support. He worked long hours as an engineer, and having another person to share parenting duties with made his life easier. But it became more than just shared custody. Cameron and Marcus became actual friends. They'd watch sports together while Riley played, go to the gym together early in the mornings before Riley woke up, grab beers, and talk about their weeks. And Riley thrived with 2 people who loved her unconditionally. She started calling Marcus Marcus at first, but then one day in September she asked, "Can I call you Dad, Marcus?" Marcus looked at Cameron. Cameron nodded. "If you want to," Marcus said carefully. "I do because I have Daddy Cameron and now I have Dad Marcus. Is that okay?" "That's more than okay." "Good. Because Emma at school says she has 2 dads and they're both boys. And I said I have 2 dads too, but one used to be married to my mom and she said that's weird. But I said it's not weird, it's just different." Marcus hugged her tight. "It's not weird at all." As for Vanessa, we heard things through the grapevine. She had moved to Nevada, started dating some guy she met online. They got engaged after 6 weeks. And that fell apart when the guy found out she was still technically married to Marcus. She had apparently lied about that too. After the divorce was finalized, she moved again, this time to Arizona, got a job at a restaurant, was apparently dating the manager. My mom got a friend request from her on Facebook in November. Vanessa sent a long message saying she was sorry for everything, that she had been going through a hard time, that she hoped my mom could forgive her. My mom blocked her immediately. "I don't need fake apologies from that girl," she said. Marcus got a similar message. His was longer and more desperate. Vanessa claimed she made mistakes, that she wanted to see Riley, that she was ready to be a mother now. Marcus showed the message to Cameron. "What do you think?" Marcus asked. Cameron sighed. "I think she saw your Facebook photos with Riley and realized what she's missing. I think she wants back in now that Riley's older and easier. I think she'll disappear again the second things get hard." So we ignore it. I think we tell her that if she wants to be part of Riley's life, she needs to prove she's serious. Therapy, consistent communication, scheduled visits that she actually shows up for, not just some message when she's feeling sentimental. Marcus sent a response outlining Cameron's suggestions. Vanessa never replied. A month later, we heard she was engaged again. Different guy. She was already using his last name on social media even though they weren't married yet. "She's just going to keep doing this," Marcus said. "Finding some guy, pretending to be someone she's not, then moving on when it falls apart." "Probably," I agreed. "But that's not your problem anymore. I just feel bad for whoever she ends up with next, then maybe you should warn them." Marcus considered it. "No, I'm done with Vanessa. She's not my responsibility anymore." He was right to let it go. Marcus' divorce was finalized in October. He threw a small party to celebrate, just family and close friends. Riley was there wearing a princess dress and a plastic crown. She made Marcus wear a matching crown. "We're both royalty now," she announced. Brought a cake that said Happy New Beginning. Riley got more excited about the cake than Marcus did. "Can I have the flower?" she asked, pointing to a frosting rose. "You can have all the flowers," Marcus told her. She ended up with frosting all over her face and dress. Cameron tried to clean her up, but she just squirmed away. "I like being messy," she declared. At one point, Riley climbed into Marcus' lap and said, "Marcus, are you going to be my dad forever now?" Everyone went quiet. Marcus looked at Cameron, who was watching from across the room. Cameron nodded slightly. Marcus hugged Riley close. "I would love that if you want me to be. I do because you're nice and you like dinosaurs and you give good hugs and you let me eat the frosting flowers." "Those are excellent reasons," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. Cameron came over and joined them. "What do you say we make it official? I could use a co-parent. And Riley could use someone else who's going to love her as much as I do." "Are you serious?" Marcus asked, dead serious. "I've watched you with her, you're great, and you actually want to be here, which is more than I can say for her biological mother. But the legal stuff, we'll figure it out. If you want this, I want this." Marcus looked down at Riley, who was watching them with her big eyes. "I want this," he said. They started the legal process the following week. It was complicated because Vanessa had given up her parental rights to Cameron, but that didn't automatically grant them to Marcus. They needed Vanessa to consent to the adoption. Getting Vanessa to respond was nearly impossible. She ignored calls and emails. Finally, Cameron's lawyer tracked her down and served her with papers. She contested at first, said she might want to be part of Riley's life someday, and didn't want to close that door. But when the lawyer explained that she'd have to start paying child support if she wanted any parental rights, she backed off quickly. Signed the papers without argument. Marcus became Riley's legal guardian in December. The day the papers were finalized, Cameron and Marcus took Riley to get ice cream to celebrate. "Am I going to have a new last name?" Riley asked. "We could hyphenate." Cameron suggested. Rodriguez Hayes. Riley tried to pronounce it. Got confused. "That's too long." They all laughed. "Well, figure it out," Marcus said. Riley had already moved on to more important things, like whether she could get 2 scoops of ice cream instead of 1. "Please, it's a celebration." "Fine," both dads said at the same time. She got strawberry and chocolate, ended up with ice cream all over her hands and face. "I'm a mess," she giggled. "You're always a mess," Cameron said fondly. "But I'm your mess." "That you are." Now, about a year and a half later, things have settled into a comfortable rhythm. Riley just finished kindergarten. Can read basic books now, and is obsessed with chapter books about dragons instead of dinosaurs. The dinosaur phase lasted about 6 months before she moved on. Marcus and Cameron have worked out a pretty equal custody arrangement. Riley spends half the week at Cameron's house and half at Marcus' apartment, but honestly, they're all together so often that the schedule doesn't matter much. Cameron started dating someone a few months ago, a woman named Melissa, who's a teacher. Is great with Riley, patient and kind, doesn't try to replace Vanessa, just exists as a positive presence in Riley's life. Marcus has been on a few dates here and there, but nothing serious. He says he's focused on Riley right now, on being the dad she deserves. Riley's thriving. She has friends at school, does well in her classes, takes dance lessons on Tuesdays and art class on Thursdays, and she's completely unbothered by her unconventional family situation. Kids at school ask about her mom, she just shrugs and says, "I don't have a mom, I have 2 dads, and it's better." The last I heard about Vanessa, she was living in Colorado, engaged to yet another guy, working at a gym. A mutual acquaintance sent me her Instagram profile a few months ago. She posts pictures of herself at the gym, at bars, at parties, living her best life. According to her captions, there's not a single mention of Riley. Not one photo or reference to the fact that she has a daughter. It's like Riley never existed to her. But Riley doesn't know that. She doesn't check Vanessa's social media, doesn't ask about her anymore. She has Cameron and Marcus. She has my parents who spoil her rotten every chance they get. She has me and Ryan who babysit every Tuesday and Thursday. She has a family who chose to love her. Ryan and I hosted another big 4th of July party this year, the first one since everything happened. Marcus came with Cameron, Melissa, and Riley. Riley wore a red, white, and blue tutu and a shirt that said, "Daddy's girl," with 2 arrows pointing up. People asked about Vanessa at first, where she was. What happened? Marcus would just shrug and say, "She's not part of our lives anymore, but we gained something better." And he gestured to Riley, who was usually covered in popsicle juice or dirt or both. No one hit on anyone's husband at this party. No one made anyone uncomfortable. It was just a good time with good people. At one point, I was standing by the grill with Ryan, watching Marcus and Cameron chase Riley around the yard. She was shrieking with laughter, her tutu bouncing as she ran. "You know," Ryan said, "when you told me your plan to invite Cameron, I thought it was going to blow up in your face. It kind of did blow up." I pointed out, "Yeah, but in the best way possible. You gave that little girl 2 parents who actually give a damn, and you saved your brother from a terrible marriage." I was just tired of Vanessa's nonsense. You were looking out for your family. There's a difference. Maybe he was right. Maybe I had been looking out for Marcus all along, even when I was being petty about it. Or maybe I just got lucky that my revenge plan accidentally resulted in something good. Either way, I'll take it. Riley came running over to me out of breath. "Aunt Amber, can I have another popsicle? "What did your dad say?" Daddy Cameron said, "Ask you." Dad Marcus said, "Ask you, so I'm asking you." I laughed, "Nice try, but you've already had two. How about some watermelon instead?" She wrinkled her nose. "Fine, but can you cut it into triangles? I only like triangles." Deal. She ran off again, and I went to cut watermelon into very specific triangles. And you know what? That felt like the happy ending. Not Vanessa getting what she deserved. Not the divorce, not even the poetic justice of her lies catching up with her. Happy ending was this. A Tuesday afternoon cutting watermelon for a little girl who had two dads who adored her and an aunt who would always look out for her family. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's just making sure the people you love are protected from the people who would hurt them. And sometimes that means inviting a baby daddy to a 4th of July party and watching the whole house of cards fall down. I don't regret it for a second. Last week, Riley started first grade. Marcus and Cameron both took the day off work to drop her off on the first day. They sent me a picture. Riley in the middle, holding both their hands, wearing a backpack that was almost as big as she was. Her smile was huge. The caption said, "First day of first grade." She told her teacher she has two dads and the coolest aunt in the world. "Thanks for everything, Amber." I cried when I saw that picture. Not because I felt vindicated or because Vanessa was missing out, though she absolutely was, but because that little girl was loved. Truly completely loved by people who chose to be in her life. And that's better than any drama, any revenge, any party showdown could ever be. Though I have to admit, watching Vanessa's face when she saw Cameron at that party, that was pretty satisfying too. My mom keeps a framed photo of Riley on her mantle now, right next to photos of me and Marcus's kids. "That's my granddaughter," she tells anyone who asks. Technically, she's not. People sometimes start to say, "She's my granddaughter." My mom repeats firmly. That's the end of that discussion. My dad taught Riley how to ride a bike last month, spent 3 weekends running alongside her in the park until she could do it on her own. When she finally got it, she yelled, "Grandpa, I'm doing it." My dad cried, actually cried. "I never thought I'd be a grandpa." He told me later, "You and Ryan keep saying you're not ready for kids." Marcus' marriage fell apart. "I thought maybe it wouldn't happen for me, and now you have Riley. And now I have Riley," he agreed. That girl is something special. She is special. Despite everything Vanessa put her through by abandoning her, Riley is happy and well-adjusted and loved. Cameron says she's been asking questions lately about why her birth mom left. "What do you tell her?" I asked. "The truth, that sometimes people aren't ready to be parents, that it has nothing to do with her, that she didn't do anything wrong." Does she believe you? I think so. She's young enough that she accepts it. But I know as she gets older it'll get harder. She'll have more questions. She'll want to understand. And if she wants to find Vanessa someday, Cameron's side, then we'll help her. It'll be her choice, but I'm not going to pretend Vanessa is someone she's not. Riley deserves to know the truth about her birth mother. Marcus agrees with that approach. They've decided to be completely honest with Riley about everything. Age-appropriate honesty, but honesty nonetheless. They even have some photos of Vanessa from when Riley was a baby, just in case Riley wants to see them someday. "I don't want her to grow up thinking her mom is some mystery," Marcus explained to me, "but I also don't want to trash-talk Vanessa. That won't help Riley." "You're a better person than I am," I said. "I'd have some choice words about Vanessa." "Trust me, I do too, but Riley doesn't need to hear them. What she needs is to know that the adults in her life are being mature and putting her first." He's right, of course, but I still think Vanessa deserves every bad thing that comes her way. Last I heard, her engagement in Colorado fell apart. The guy apparently found out about Riley. Vanessa tried to claim that Cameron had fabricated the whole thing, that Riley wasn't really hers. The guy called Cameron to verify. Cameron sent him photos and documents. The engagement was off by the end of the week. Vanessa sent Marcus an angry message blaming him for ruining her relationship. Marcus blocked her. "I'm done. He told me she doesn't get to blame me for her lies anymore." Good for him. Riley lost a tooth last month, her first one. She was so excited about the tooth fairy. Cameron and Marcus both put money under her pillow. She woke up to find 2 $5 bills. "The tooth fairy is rich," she exclaimed. She used the money to buy a book about dragons. Read the whole thing in 2 days. "I'm going to be a dragon expert now," she announced instead of a dinosaur expert. "What about Triceratops?" Marcus asked, pointing to the stuffed dinosaur he'd given her that first day. "He's still my friend, but now I have new interests." Cameron and Marcus exchanged looks. Their daughter was growing up. Next month, Riley's turning 6. She's already planning her party. "I want a dragon cake," she's told everyone who will listen. "And I want to have it at Aunt Amber's house because she has the best yard, so I guess I'm hosting a 6-year-old's birthday party." Ryan's already planning games. My mom's making the cake. My dad's in charge of decorations. It's going to be chaos, but good chaos. The kind of chaos that comes from having a family who actually cares about each other. And when I think about how all of this started with me inviting Cameron to that 4th of July party, it feels surreal. I was so angry that day, so determined to expose Vanessa and make her face consequences. I never imagined it would lead to this. To Riley having a family who loves her, to Marcus finding his purpose as a dad, to Cameron having a partner in parenting. Life is weird like that sometimes. You think you're getting revenge, and instead you accidentally create something beautiful. Or maybe it wasn't an accident at all. Maybe it was exactly what was supposed to happen. Either way, I'm just glad Riley has the life she deserves, the life Vanessa couldn't give her. And I'm glad my brother found his way to being a dad, even if the path there was completely insane. As for me, I'm just the aunt who hosts parties and cuts watermelon into triangles. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other.